There can be little doubt that the Great Storm of the 15th and 16th of October 1987 remains one of the most talked about weather events for a generation. With wind gusts in excess of 100 miles an hour, the storm hit the south of England, causing widespread disruption. The Great Storm has gone down in history as the worst storm to hit England since 1703, causing £1 billion worth of damage. Over the last 25 years, the way weather forecasts are produced, how our forecasts are communicated, and how people act in response to our forecasts have all changed. But what are the facts behind the Great Storm? What actually happened in 1987? And why did it cause so much damage? And what has changed in the last 25 years?
What made it a very interesting storm wasn't just the fact it was a deep low, because you get deep lows at this time of year. It was the fact that pressure behind the depression rose significantly, about 20 millibars in 3 hours, which is a horrendous rise of pressure. And of course that squeezes the isobars, and then from the squeezed isobars you get this very, very strong wind. So we had what's called a sting jet as well. So it all came together to be a very, very dangerous depression indeed. It sometimes takes your darkest hour for any professional organisation to learn lessons, and we've learnt many lessons. And it's interesting, you have to go back 25 years to talk about when the Met Office last missed a big storm, because through the 90s, the Burnsday storm comes to mind, the snowstorms of recent times, the floods of 97 and the floods of this autumn. We've done remarkably well.
Back in 1987, we didn't really have a way of letting anybody know when there was severe weather on the way. Of course, there's no point in us having the knowledge that there is something on the way if we don't let anybody know about it. So really it was a wake-up call, and in the last 25 years we've developed the National Severe Weather Warning Service, and we've consistently been looking at that and changing it, and now it takes both the risk of something happening, so using all our different techniques for forecasting, so how likely something's going to happen, as well as the impact of that weather. In the last few years we've developed a network of Met Office advisors across the United Kingdom. Their job is to work very closely with the responder community to plan for the severe weather, to write severe weather plans that they can use when the severe weather does hit, but also to exercise those plans. So we pretend that there's severe weather coming so that they can work out what they will do in the real event. Then in the run-up to severe weather, we'll be working very closely with them so that they can work out where to put their resources, what they might need to do to prepare for that severe weather coming along, and then to get back to normal as quickly as possible once the severe weather has passed.
But how has our science and technology changed since 1987, and what improvements have we seen?
Well, we forecast the weather with very, very complicated computer models of the atmosphere, and there's been a mixture of improvements, some of it to the science of how we understand the atmosphere and how we represent that in our models, how we represent clouds or mountains. The other huge advance has been in the technology, the supercomputers we use to do the forecasts with. We have to split the globe into squares, the level of detail we try and forecast for, and back in 1987 those squares were 80 kilometres for the most detailed United Kingdom model. Nowadays we can run with squares which are only 1.5 kilometres across, and so you can imagine the extra detail you can get in terms of the effect of hills in the United Kingdom or individual storm systems or coastlines. As well as running these much more detailed models, another thing we do is run lots of different forecasts for the same event. Rather than just running it once, we'll run lots of just slightly different forecasts, and these will give us an idea of the risk of different events happening.
We can't say we won't see another storm like the one in 1987, but we are able to better forecast and warn of severe weather. We can help to minimise the impacts by working with our partners and emergency responders and the public, helping them to prepare and take action to protect life and property in the future.